Welcome to Mystara for another conversion. One I wasn't expecting to make so soon. Still, Wizards pushed back Radiant Citadel, and the next adventure dropped about a week later. And conversions are a time-essential presentation. This week is converting Dragons of Stormwreck Isle from the dull and blasé Forgotten Realms to the hip and happening Mystara. Stormwreck is the latest box set adventure, like Lost Mines of Phandelver or Dragons of Icespire Peak, but without many of the bells and whistles of the Essentials kit. This video is to help you get over your disappointment of opening up the box and noticing this is set off the Storm Coast instead of Theatis. That's right, we're still stuck in the Remembered Realms. I'm Mr. Welch, and it's time to set course for the known world. Before we start, do you remember the module Death's Ride? The one with the awesome art of the skeleton warrior riding a blue dragon over a lake of fire? Some of the greatest 80s van art ever created. Remember how disappointed you were when that scene appeared nowhere in the adventure? Get ready for more of that disappointment, as the cover of this adventure shows probably the same blue dragon facing off against Hank the Ranger and Diana the Acrobat from the 80s cartoon. Then, in the book itself, there's Eric the Cavalier, about to get himself involved in a dragon fight. Presto the Wizard makes an appearance on page 6 in the art, along with Hank and some random chick they added because they needed a cleric for the miniature set. Lisa the Thief, Bobbie the Barbarian, and Uni the Unicorn don't make an appearance at all. But they're all just there for nostalgia. They don't appear anywhere in this box set in the rules. It's obviously them. They're wearing the same clothes and weapons, though Eric gets a sword, and God forbid you show Diana's midriff in 5e. They could have easily made a cameo, or even better, make them the pre-generated characters that came with the set. But no, they're just there in the art, and they don't appear anywhere in the adventure. Color me disappointed. Stormwreck Isle is for levels 1 through 3. It's a beginning adventure. I figured you knew this already, as all the box sets are low level. James Wyatt was the lead designer, Carl Kopinski did the cover art, Mike Schley is the cartographer, and there's a laundry list of interior artists. It's 48 pages long, it's a series of connected dungeon crawls, and it's only available at Target for the next few months. So if you're looking to buy this and you are, say, in like Greece, you'll have to get somebody in the States to ninja shop for you. If you're a friendly local game store over in Swaziland, you're SOL until Wizards remembers that the local stores are the ones that actually support the game and carry all the products that you're not going to find in a big box store. When was the last time you went to Target to buy a gnome wizard? But enough complaining about the absolute garbage way these box sets are distributed, and let's take a peek at the real adventure. Stormwreck Isle is a small island located in the ocean near Sword Coast. There's only one landmark to identify where it is, a sliver of the high road visible on the edge of the map. The module is self-contained, all the chapters are on a different section of the island, so we can place this anywhere there's a coast in Mystara. Where haven't we set a conversion yet? How about making it one of the smaller islands around Irene? A tiny island, so you wouldn't count it as one of the core ones. You don't have to change anything about the island. It's rocky, it's got caves, there's no actual settlements outside the dragon's village. The island is ruled by a bronze dragon named Renara, who appears in human form. Bronze dragons are pretty rare in Mystara. You can port her over to a gold dragon, no problem, or possibly even a good-aligned gemstone dragon. If you want to make her into a bit of a gossip, I suggest a sapphire dragon. A jade dragon fits the bill if she's more into the arts. She's got a bunch of vicious evil kobolds following her around, waiting to betray her and skin her corpse. But those are Faerun kobolds. Mystaran kobolds are mammals, not reptiles. So flip those kobolds to gnomes, you got the same motivations, only the gnomes aren't going to pretend to be your friend and then Julius Caesar you in the morning while you're reading your mail. It would be best if you replaced the mention of anything Faerun related with Mystaran, of course. Bahamut isn't welcome here, so the temple to him becomes devoted to the Great One. There are evil kobolds on the island, with a winged kobold as their boss. Stick with the theme that the kobolds use weird devices as weapons, mostly stolish gnomish designs. The winged kobold is wearing a gliding suit, similar to Wile E. Coyote, but everything else remains the same. If you wanted to throw the characters for a loop, instead of a dragon, the island's ruler could be a drake, the shape-changing fey creatures with a pseudo-draconic form. The only problem with doing that is she wouldn't be able to do the big damn heroes moment when the players screw up, like the adventure suggests. The island is a monastery for helping people come to peace with their various problems. It's not a refuge, but more of a sanitarium. The Rest and Recoup Sanitarium, not the Insane Asylum Sanitarium. Every one of the pre-gen characters is there for a specific reason, and the residents have their own quests that need doing. If you're using your own characters, they will need their reasons to come here, or if you want, give them a reason to be here already. But remember, this module starts at first level. They aren't going to be here because of PTSD for being the only survivor in a massive battle against Hivebrood or anything else that would have made them higher level. That's a common error in background building. You're a rookie. You have rookie experience. Act like a rookie. The first quest given to the party is to figure out what's bugging the Myconids that inhabit the island. As Myconids are not normally part of Mystara, we need to find a replacement. The best place for an enigmatic subterranean creature is another enigmatic subterranean creature. Time to bring up the Geonid again. The Mystara Geonid, not the replacement Geonid, which became an elemental creature in the Toral package PDF. Now they speak through Morse code by clicking rocks together instead of just venting fungal spores. so you can leave the nasal spray at home. You can replace the spore-infested octopus. A fungoid is a good option, but let the players get a chance to sneak by it, because it's a boss-level monster for most first-level PCs. The problem in the cave is that the poisonous fumes are building up, attracting some nasty creatures, or just dumb monsters that like the fumes. Make the fumes sulfuric. You can use the fume drakes if you'd like, or grab some low-level elementals like the fire fundamentals from the Mystara setting. These things aren't very dangerous, but they can be numerous. Clear the blocked passage, deal with the fire snake, and everybody goes up a level. Yay! Next, we're headed to the cursed shipwreck. This is about an elite U.S. Special Forces operative assigned to a crack unit comprised of the best the U.S. military can provide from all the military branches. He's woken up after spending years in a coma, but is tortured for information he doesn't know, and the only woman who can provide the information died years ago in that same battle that rendered him unconscious. And I am apparently reading the summary of the G.I. Joe episode, There's No Place Like Springfield. This version of Cursed Shipwreck is about the players dealing with zombies they encountered at the start of the adventure. Looking through the adventure, there's a shrine to Orcus. Remember, Orcus in Mystara is a different guy. Just as evil, just not a demon lord. That information is just for fluff, it doesn't impact the story. The adventure really needs no conversions, it's all zombies and a harpy. It's a straight-up dungeon crawl, and it doesn't try to be anything but. Then you get to the clifftop observatory, the final third of the module. This building was once a structural marvel for all sorts of science, which explains the gnomes. The small dragon here has a small force of kobolds as minions, which also explains the gnomes. You've got some winged kobolds. Remember to put them in the wingsuits so you don't have little evil bat chihuahuas. The rest of the adventure is a bit of a hunt and peck for clues for various puzzles, then a fight with a dragon wormling at the end. It's not a complicated dungeon, which, considering this is an introductory adventure, that's a good thing. More experienced players might find it a bit empty, but remember, WotC didn't write this for you. If you're a veteran player who has to play through this, default to the standard fun way to play starter modules. Speed run. See how fast you can beat this by just playing off the stock plot points you will find. Alright, that was Dragons of Stormwreck Island, and I'm running way short. The YouTube algorithm doesn't like it when you run short. It makes it angry. You wouldn't like it when the YouTube algorithm gets angry, would you? So I need something to keep this video going. Remember when I mentioned using Geonids? Did you know Geonids are part of 5e? They were one of the 3 additional Mystara monsters that got bored into Faerun in the Extra Life PDF, the Turtle package. It raises money for sick kids, so it's a good purchase. But we can make those sick kids even happier by taking this adventure back to Mystara, where it should have stayed. The Turtle package is a $10 PDF that you can get from the DM's Guild or similar, and was the download that gave us playable turtles. Not as cool as the turtles from the Mystara Player's Guide, but a decent copy. This adventure takes the turtle, the topi, the decapus, and the geonid, and drops them squarely into Chult after the spell plague. Well, now we're sending them back to the turtle lands on the Savage Coast, like in the dungeon adventure Turtles of the Purple Sage. Turtles go back to not having an adventurous bent, unless they are total freaks and actually like to do something other than fish. All the Faerun pantheon gets dropped for Mystaran immortals. There's no Yuan-Ti. The nearest human settlement is hundreds of miles away. Just ignore all the references to Tomb of Annihilation and it works much better. The main adventure is a short dungeon crawl. Well, what did you expect for $10? It's got a lot of Faerun imagery with many references to Umberlee. You can switch her out for Proteus. He's not an evil immortal, but he's not exactly the most caring either. The long-dead captain of the ship is devoted to him, and he was as evil as all get out. But Proteus is militantly neutral. He doesn't care who worships him because the sea doesn't care. If you want an evil immortal instead of Proteus, you can switch out Umberlee with Slizark the Lurker, the patron immortal of Kopru. Though there's probably half a dozen that would be an easy fit. Slizark is a bit obscure, but definitely an evil ocean immortal. Again, it doesn't have any impact on the story except for some cosmetic changes. That's going to wrap up the latest conversion of the newest product. It's a starter dungeon. It doesn't try to be anything more than a starter dungeon. So it gets a lot of passes on the lack of content you're going to find within. A good chunk of the art is recycled. It has a separate book teaching the basics of the rules and has some black and white art and some more pictures of the D&D kids. You get some dice because that's a constant with every starter set. It's not an adventure for players that have been playing for a while. They will get bored with a limited number of encounters and chew through this module. If you're a DM looking for an adventure and you're tired of Phandelver, it might be something to pick up, assuming you live close to a target. So that gives me some breathing room, because the next box set up is Spelljammer, and I don't do setting conversions. Unless they decide to do Mystara, and then I have my work cut out for me. Of course, they could hire me to convert Mystara, in which case I've got a hell of a head start, and I do have reasonable rates. So it's time for another topic, and this one has been kicked back every week for a month due to all of the craziness that was July. The village of Kirkuk, the sample village in the Emirates of Yalarum Gazetteer. The only town that was fleshed out at all in that book because they wanted you to do it all yourself. So all the other cities just get a mention on a map with no details, except Kirkuk, which oddly enough is not on the map. But until then, remember, it's only Mystara if it comes from the Mystara region of New Avalon. Otherwise, it's just the sparkling known world.